go to Danny Panzella. Danny, on the TV show, I want to get you on the TV show, and Rob Dew's getting a package together that shows you on the Napolitano show on Fox, shows you getting attention all over with the Dylan Radigan interview. Here you are months ago with your baby down there in a stroller by yourself. Then you come on this show. We call for a demonstration the next day. Hundreds show up. And now here you are with millions seeing what you have to say. You're another testament of what taking action can do.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, thank you for your support. And I want to thank everybody else for all their support and for continuing to spread the message. But, you know, it's not about me. Xander was a good little gimmick that kind of got attention. But, you know, obviously the Federal Reserve is really what we want to draw attention to. And, you know, I've been spending since day one down at Occupy Wall Street. I've been down there and I've been talking to people about the free market. And it's like you said earlier, you really broke it down. These are not bad people. When you cut through all the rhetoric, really what they want is the same thing that we all want, which is freedom and equality. And they just have an idea of how to get there that doesn't work. So what I've been down there doing is just talking to them about the free market. And then they say, oh, well, we have a free market and that's what caused all these problems. And then I can explain to them, well, no, we have a centrally planned economy that is run by a private Federal Reserve Bank that's owned by private corporations. So that really speaks to them. And I can see the light bulbs going off in a lot of people's eyes. And it's very disheartening to see Mike Moore and now the unions and these people coming in and trying to co-opt what it was really a grassroots movement. And what, in large part, they've been able to do with the Tea Party is kind of get them behind the establishment agenda, put them in the left or the right box, and basically inoculate those two movements. So what I've been down there trying to do is say, look, the Tea Party and Occupy Wall Street have the same goals. We need to work together. We can do this together, end the private Federal Reserve, and then you'll get your voice back.
Well, beautifully said. What I try to say in 10 hours, you say in about 2 minutes. You're absolutely right. I mean, I called this over a week ago, and I really came out Sunday and said, look, this is being taken over. And the left then, the controlled professional left, tried to spin it that I was saying all the Wall Street people were bad. That's like when I say Building 7 was clearly blown up. They say, oh, you're saying the cops did it. No, I'm not saying the cops did it, but the cops are on video saying get back. They're about to bring it down. They were told get people back. It's compartmentalization. It's the same thing here. When Obama and Move On and Soros admit they're trying to co-opt it, I've got to come out and say don't be co-opted. That's like 3 years ago when the Republicans tried to take over the Tea Party. I said don't let them take it over. This is a Ron Paul True Liberty movement. And I got the comments, oh, you just hate the Tea Party, commie. No, I'm trying to show how the establishment, the left and right head of this monster, this ogre, is trying to take over our movement. What do you think of my idea? Obviously, you're going to love it because you were already doing it months ago, to go and protest the Fed itself and identify the crony capitalist.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've actually been trying to do that. We started OccupyTheFed.net a few weeks ago, and we've been trying to gain steam. And I'm so happy that you've jumped on board with this as well. And now we've joined up with Stuart Rhodes and some of the other people in the movement to kind of consolidate all our efforts to organize so we can get people in front of every single Fed. And you have been obviously invaluable in this fight. You know, you woke most of us up. So, we just want to really get as many people as possible to show up, and we're taking a two-pronged approach.
Now, see, hold on. I didn't even know that you'd set up and occupy the Fed.net. That's common sense when they start their group. You say, hey, the Federal Reserve's the real threat. I have this epiphany Sunday. We've got to go after the Fed instead of just saying capitalism. That is just beautiful.
Yeah, it's just the synchronicity, and it's really what we were trying to do was kind of glean off the momentum that the Occupy Wall Street movement has and just kind of funnel that back into the right direction towards the Fed rather than the straw man of capitalism, because we really don't even have true free market capitalism.
No, you got 6 big mega banks that own the Fortune 100 and then some, who are organizing the economy and everything into themselves and shutting down their competition and trying to get more people dependent on their fiat system so they control them.
That's right. Absolutely. And when you break that down for people, you'll see the light bulb go off in their head. So I want to encourage people. You know, I'm getting a lot of criticism from Tea Party type people and right wing type people saying, oh, why are you going down there with all those, socialists and communists? And I said, well, we've got to convert them to be our allies.
Stay there. Exactly. The reason I've tried to get Michael Moore on this show. David Rothschild on this show. Dennis Kucinich on this show. Roseanne Barr yesterday. I mean, look at Jesse Ventura. I've really been talking to him privately for years. Look how far he's come since I first met him 6 years ago. We'll be right back. Stay with Ella, who I didn't even know they started an occupied Fed thing weeks before I did. It was just common sense that, wow, look at this. They're saying capitalism's the problem. We don't have capitalism. We have a government where they say, okay, everybody else's power plant has to basically shut down but General Electric. And we're going to double or triple your power prices. How's that sound? That's freedom. If you didn't give money to Obama, we're going to shut down your General Motors dealership. How's that sound? Or if you're not part of the Carlyle Group, we're not going to give you defense contracts. I mean, or if you're American small business, you can't get government contracts, even though it's the law you're supposed to. I mean, it's just a bunch of insiders raping us 7 ways to Sunday. It's incredible. Danny, in closing, that's the same thing I've gone through. The left attacks me, saying, you're not fully embracing the end of capitalism. You're a right-wing fascist. You must worship everyone at the Occupy Wall Street worldwide. And then I get like conservative people going, you commie having Roseanne Barr on board. What is your problem? And the point is, you heard Roseanne Barr. I've been listening to you a few years now. Now, I'm Second Amendment. I'm starting to get it. The point is, just hating these people isn't ever going to fix it. Now, if you're an operative who's cold-bloodedly manipulating, like George Soros, yeah, I get it. I would not try to be friends with George Soros. He knows exactly what he's doing. But a Roseanne Barr, you've got to reach out to her. You're not going to get anywhere with her calling her a moron. You've got to try to reach out to her. And I'm not saying Ventura was ever stupid, but when I first met him 6 years ago, I gave him 9/11 films. He goes, I know. My son already gave me these, Alex. I just don't know. And then a year later, it's like, I'll come down to Austin. I'm ready to come on your show. It's an inside job. And then now look where he is. See, it's that process. I mean, if I'd have said, Ventura, I don't totally agree with you on these things. You're an operative. Most people aren't operatives. They're ignorant. So yes, I would just ignore people getting mad at you. What's wrong with you going down to the hippies and people and saying, hey, it's the Federal Reserve? You're doing what the lazy mainline conservatives should be doing. They want to sit there and listen to Rush Limbaugh, who support, and Glenn Beck, who supported the banker bailouts and who support new VAT taxes like O'Reilly, and suck their thumbs and judge everybody that's actually in the field.
Well, you make a good point. And what I tell people is Jesus hung out with sinners. I hang out with socialists. So I want to be an influence. And, they always make the point, the Tea Party, oh, well, that's funded by George Soros. I said, but Fox News is funded by the Sharia-loving Saudi royals and Rupert Murdoch, who gives all that money that you spend on Fox News products. He gives that to Planned Parenthood and the Clintons and other liberal causes. So if you want to talk about funding, let's talk about funding. The bottom line is we have to reach out to these people and convert them into free market, freedom-loving people.
Well, you're right. Oh, that's another thing. Years ago, it was taken out of context when I was showing that Fox News, if you added all the Saudis together, was now almost Saudi majority-owned, that a bunch of other major outfits in Hollywood were. Obviously, it's Jews, Italians, and others are, dominant in the actual production, but Saudi Arabia, incredibly corrupt, more and more is buying up our media. The actual shares, they don't run it. They own large portions of it is a more accurate statement. And I'm not getting into a fight with Arabs or something. The point is, Saudi Arabia, Fox News loves to bash Muslims all day. Well, no wonder they do, because right under their nose, it's basically a Saudi Arabian outfit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And that's the argument that I try to use with conservatives that say, oh, I don't want to get involved. And look, that's exactly why George Soros and the unions and Mike Moore jump on this thing, because they want to push the right away. It's like a reverse psychology operation. Their job is to get the right to say, I'm not getting involved with that. That's a Soros thing. And
just like the left wouldn't get involved in the Tea Parties because the media said they're racist, they're white, they're evil. Automatically, if you're not white now, you can't be for freedom.
That's right. That's right. And what ends up happening is we focus all our attention on the punching bags in Congress and the president, and those are replaceable because the banks and the CEOs of the banks and the shareholders of those banks are constant. They never change. We can replace a Barack Obama with the next puppet, but unless it's someone like Ron Paul, who's real grassroots, who has been loyal to the Constitution for his whole career, someone who has that kind of record, you're going to get more of the same, and those banks are just going to buy off the next person, and it's going to be the same thing over and over again.
Hey, Danny, we have set you up for the nightly news tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I want to come back to 2 or 3 minutes with you on another quick subject, but I want to say something about Fox News when we come back as well on the other side. So.